I have some bullish news when it comes to Turbo. And what is that? We take a look at how not too long ago, it was announced how Animoca Brands' Motorverse, they were partnering with Turbo Token to boost ecosystem management.
However, here's the thing. I meant to say engagement, not management. And by the way, since that video, I did cut my hair. So yeah, it's a little bit different. But yeah, that's a correction I wanted to make. But yeah, even besides that point.
Now, you may be thinking, okay, this sounds kind of caca, man. This is trash. Animoca, what is this? An animal company, all this type of stuff? But no. Animoca, it's literally so massive. I mean, not too long ago, by the way, it was valued at around $5 billion, which is kind of insane. And also, not to mention, you want to take a look at something that's a subsidiary of Animoca Brands. It's something called Sandbox. And yeah, you heard that right. Sandbox is pretty much one of the most established metaverse out there. So if you take a look at this right here is massive. Now, is this news like breaking news? Is it like recent? No, it happened quite a while back ago. But I think oftentimes people don't talk about this enough because I think in some cases, they don't understand just how special Animoca Brands is. But I do. And I'm very bullish on Sandbox. So, of course, I already know Animoca Brands. However, of course, let's take a deeper dive at this because we take a look at how when it comes to Motorverse, it is a subsidiary, again, of Animoca Brands. It's a revolutionary digital ecosystem focused on motorsport culture. We all know that motorsport is massive. Like a lot of my friends, they watch like F1, they watch like MotoGP racing, the one with like the motorcycle. So yeah, it's becoming a big thing as of right now. However, of course, Animoca with their forward-thinking mindset, they understand this, which is why, of course, they're focused on something like this. But even besides that, on there, users can collect and trade digital vehicles. They can participate in various games and engage in real and virtual motorsport events. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And also on top of that, the primary currency of Motorverse is something called Rev, like revving an engine, if that makes sense. But then it's spelled with like a double V at the end. So it's like REVV. But yeah, besides that point, we care about Turbo here. But this actually has a relation to Turbo because the partnership includes a swap of the Rev token and Turbo tokens. So I think that's pretty cool. Also on top of that, this is to explore collaboration opportunities around joint marketing and interoperability. So anyway, take a look at it. I think this is amazing news when it comes to Turbo. I think this is bullish for them moving forward because quite essentially, even though this won't be like the best thing that's ever happened to Turbo, in my opinion, it's still good nonetheless because quite essentially they're getting their beak wet, right? They're having their foot in the door when it comes to Animoca. And we don't know what the future holds potentially, right? When it comes to what Animoca and Turbo could collaborate on in the future. Only time will tell. But again, this is a good sign, I think, in the right direction because, of course, Animoca is very massive. It's Hong Kong based, very reputable. And by the way, I've been to Hong Kong multiple times. It's very amazing. The way you take a look at Hong Kong is that it's basically like kind of like a miniature version of like New York because every building is like super tall. And sometimes I go inside like a normal store. It doesn't even feel like it's a tall building. But then sometimes I go in the lift, it's like, whoa, it's like 30 floors. You know what I mean? But yeah, even besides that point, I take a look at how when it comes to, again, Animoca, it's absolutely massive. So yeah, anyway I view this, I think that this is so amazing when it comes to Turbo. And I'm very excited to see what other future opportunities could come when it comes to Turbo because, I think when it comes to sometimes in the world of cryptocurrencies and just in real life, generally speaking, sometimes social proof does matter in a sense that typically, right, let's say 10 people believe in something, the 11th person is typically going to also believe in that, at least in some cases. And again, I think when it comes to Animoca, sort of having a partnership with Turbo in a sense, this right here is giving a lot of social proof to other large entities out there because they may be thinking, whoa, if Animoca is doing this, maybe we could as well. We don't know, right? That could very well be the case. And it could very well, start this snowball effect. Because if they take a look at Turbo and they say, hey, they're trustworthy enough, quite essentially, to be involved with Animoca, again, it could very well spark many partnerships in the future. So again, I think this is such a major catalyst for what could be so amazing in the upcoming times. But here's the thing. When it comes to Turbo, even regardless of that, I still think that it's still going to continue to prosper because the community is fantastic. It's also listed in a bunch of major exchanges anyways. And you take a look at how the biggest, of course, as of late was like Binance and KuCoin, which is amazing. So yeah, when it comes to Turbo, anyway, take a look at it. I don't think it's going to disappear anytime soon. I think I could very well see it, being a meme coin that's going to stick around for many cycles to come, sort of like a Shiba Inu or like a Dogecoin. Because when it comes to Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, they've pretty much been like grandfathered in a sense, to the whole crypto space. Because you take a look at how back in 2021, there wasn't only just Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, right? There was like several other meme coins, but then many of them just kind of disappeared. But when you take a look at Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, they're still standing as of right now. They're still one of the biggest projects out there. So yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about. But when it comes to Turbo, I could very well see it happening. Do I think it's going to become the number one meme coin out there in the future? No. But just being like top 10, top 15, let's say, I think that's already very fantastic. If, let's say, Turbo were to go to the price of 50 cents, that right there is still pretty amazing. It's still around a 50x from here. And, market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply, would be around $33 billion. So yeah, it's still not bad. And also, it's not like this outlandish target. We've seen like Dogecoin reach over $80 billion of market cap. So yeah, it's not crazy at all. At least that's the way I view it. And I think that as of right now, even though Turbo is doing so well, I think it could very well be no match as to what it could reach, like let's say half a year from right now, a year from right now, because as of right now, you take a look at the greed and fear index when it comes to cryptocurrencies, it's still somewhat neutral. So people, I think they're as of right now still 50-50. Either they're bearish or they're bullish, because I think the way people view it as of right now is that, okay, we see a lot of meme coins pump in, we see some smaller projects having a good, recovery in some cases, but I think they haven't gotten that confirmation yet that, the full bull run is really in. I think they haven't gone that. So then the sentiment really isn't there yet. I think that when it comes to people as of right now, they're still, again, 50-50. And this really reminds me of like 2020, around like the end of that year, if that makes sense. Because near the end of 2020, a lot of people, they were flip-flopping, They were kind of thinking, okay, we're bullish, we're not, we're bullish, you know what I mean? But then in 2021, of course, once a lot of people FOMO'd in, once there was that confirmation that, okay, the space was really going to pop off, I think a lot of people joined in. But in my opinion, the key was to kind of get in before that, right? Which is why I'm still believing in Turbo and many other projects as of right now, because I believe that relatively speaking, we're still kind of early. Yes, is Turbo like the smallest cap like meme coin out there? No. But still, right? The way I take a look at it is that, it still has room to grow, hypothetically, and the bull run is far from over. Bitcoin hasn't even reached the price of $100,000 yet, so I don't know why people keep saying it's over, all this type of stuff. And now, granted, if people are like happy already with how much Turbo pumped and they're exiting and they're like, yeah, okay, we're done, it's their choice, right? I can't control anyone. Keep in mind, there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. I'm just one person. I can't just demand things to pump all this type of stuff. So people, they can do whatever they want to do, quite essentially. But for me, I know what I'm going to do. I have a plan. I'm going to stick to it, which is dollar cost averaging. I'm acquiring Turbo anytime an income, holding and just waiting. That's it. Because if, let's say, my portfolio is down, the way I view it is that as long as I don't sell, let's say hypothetically, right? It's still an unrealized loss. It's only a realized loss if I sell. And some people out there, they seem to think that, oh, wow, this is trash. And then it gets in their ego. Sometimes it gets in their mind. But personally, for me, I've trained myself not to do that. And here's the thing. If people don't like seeing losses, at least personally for me, then okay, just don't look at the portfolio. You know what I mean? It's that simple, really. I mean, the way I view it is that I view it in the long term, right? So if, let's say, looking at my portfolio every like 5 minutes, every couple of days, let's say it gives me like some sort of stress, then okay, I'll just not look at it. I'll just keep accumulating, quite essentially. I'll still input it in my portfolio, of course, but then I'm just not going to be hyper-focused on it. That's a way to kind of remove all the short to medium term kind of nonsense. Because remember, not too long ago, Turbo had a quite big dump. And then at that time, of course, I was like, oh man. But then I realized that, okay, I'll just still continue to accumulate. And then Binance listing, KuCoin listing, it pumped again. So that's why, I believe that, quite essentially just thinking more so about the long term has worked well for me. Not financial advice, but again, it's really that simple. At least that's the way I view it. I mean, imagine what happens to Turbo once it goes, let's say Bitcoin in this case, right? Goes to the price of 100,000, 150,000. It could look so amazing. So again, it's just a waiting game. It's just staying patient, because a lot of people out there, they've been in the crypto space ever since 2021. So let's say waiting like a year as a worst case. Is it really that bad? I don't really know about that, because again, if they're waiting, for so many years, doesn't seem so bad this time around, at least in my opinion, which is why, again, I'm staying dedicated when it comes to Turbo. I'm very excited for its future, and at the price of 50 cents during this bull run, that right there wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And feel free to become a channel member if you want to. That way, you can get a prioritized response from me in the comments, and also you can use these cool badges or stickers, which I think is pretty awesome. And also on top of that, feel free to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.